A lot of people criticize the 2014 Godzilla movie for not having enough of, oh, I don't know, Godzilla?
Godzilla.
So does Godzilla King of Monsters follow up on their promise to give us more of that, and is he truly the King of Monsters?
Godzilla King of Monsters is directed by Michael Dougherty, who is known for directing Krampus and Trick or Treat, 2 horror films. This film stars Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, Millie Bobby Brown, and Ken Watanabe. We're all familiar with the Godzilla films, and some people associate them as metaphors for the nuclear age. Some people know that they're gonna get a monster movies where monsters are fighting each other and wreaking havoc upon humanity, right?
Yeah.
But this Godzilla movie, King of the Monsters, actually has an interesting premise. It centers around people who basically want to liberate these titans so that they can destroy and basically kind of like cleanse the earth, right? In that regard, I kind of thought of Thanos from the Marvel films a little bit. Okay. This whole concept of destruction in order to like, cleanse and start anew. And then people that basically just want to see the titans be put down, right? And then it also centers around this rift between this family, right? This family that is separating the, Kyle Chandler being the dad, Vera Farmiga is the mom, and Millie Bobby Brown is the daughter. So that is what gives this movie its edge, I think, and makes it a pretty decent Godzilla entry, in my opinion.
I mean, it definitely gives it the edge over the first Godzilla movie, where the humans were just kind of like bystanders, had very little to do. This one, they were actually a part of the plot. Okay, I mean, I'm not giving away too much when they said that they wanted to actually be a part of the battle, so I enjoyed that part of it. It kept me engaged throughout the movie. You mentioned the premise. I like the idea of a group trying to, bring the monsters up to cleanse the earth, but there's a twist they throw in there which didn't really sit well with me, but, they did enough with the movie, with the conflict between the monsters, that made me forget about that one little detail.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the twist, right? Because I was really hoping for an even bigger surprise and an even bigger twist. You have a lot of monster movies, like if you think back to like movies like Aliens, for example, or even Predator, what made those movies so great is that even though they were monster films, you had an amazing surprise element at the end. And I kept waiting for that in this movie, and considering that and considering that it was directed by a horror film director, the movie wasn't scary. The movie really lacked like truly horrifying and suspenseful moments. I felt it was a great action movie, and there were some pretty well staged action scenes, but I kept waiting to be genuinely scared and terrified, and I kept waiting for something surprising to happen, and unfortunately that never came.
Yeah, I wonder if they were trying too hard to say, okay, we got knocked for not having enough monsters, so we're gonna have monsters, and fight. And although you got a lot of that in this movie for sure, I kind of felt like those scenes lacked a little bit of punch, no pun intended, right? But a lot to be desired, I guess. It was pretty straightforward. Since we're talking about the fight scenes, let's talk about some of the techniques, right?
Sure.
The CGI could have been a lot better, I thought.
Yeah.
And some of the scenes were a little too over dramatic. I thought that they're trying to glorify these monsters. Like, look here, this is a gigantic monster, and look how grand he is.
Well, and the thing is that especially during those scenes where there was like destruction happening, the debris, for example, it looked kind of like unreal. It took me out of the movie a little bit because there was a lack of realism with the destruction scenes, and even like King Ghidorah. There were better designed dragon-looking monsters in other films than in this one. I
think they tried to make it look very Asian. It is obviously born from Japan. There was a lot of camera shake at moments, which I thought was very messy, and I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the audience a little off kilter, but a little too much for my taste. But I do remember you saying that you like the lighting.
A lot of scenes involve like a lot of smoke and clouds, and you see the silhouette of these monsters behind these cloudy, very cloudy cinematography. So the lighting is very essential for those scenes to look really impressive, which I thought was kind of cool. In fact, I kind of liked when the monsters were hidden in cloud versus
Right.
like when they were actually being
more
shown.
mystery.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Now, Lenny, let's talk about the acting, all right? Let's talk about Vera Farmiga first. I really liked where they took her character in the movie.
Yes, I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, but I thought that her transformation as a character throughout was a little bit abrupt. And it didn't seem seamless to me. And I felt
the writing could have been better.
The writing could have been better, and it could have been more organic, but I liked in the end where her character ended up, and I really enjoyed her performance. I always love Vera Farmiga.
Yeah.
I think she's an excellent actress. Yeah,
I agree that her acting was on point. Like you said, there were some parts of the writing where they could have done a better job of making it more believable. Where they took her character toward the end of the movie, I thought that was a little predictable, so I was like, eh. Yeah, and I do want to mention Kyle Chandler, who was the father of Millie Bobby Brown's character.
Right.
To me, he was the most interesting character in this movie. I mean, there was really good acting all around. I liked him more because he was very believable. He was very passionate, and they really did a good job of explaining and showing that throughout the movie. As far as Millie Bobby Brown, I felt like they could have given her more in this movie for sure.
Yeah, like
especially being in the trailer.
More compelling dialogue I felt she needed, because she's such a good actress that I felt that she was kind of wasted a little bit.
Yes.
Considering her talents.
Great word,
yeah. Kyle Chandler is also an excellent actor, which brings me to how essential these actors were for ensuring that this movie was decent.
Right, and to make up for some comedy that was it was misplaced a lot, especially with this one annoying, I don't know if he was a scientist or audio recorder. He was played by Bradley Whitford, who you probably know from The West Wing back in the early 2000s.
Right.
Really good actor, but man, did they give him some cheesy dialogue in this movie.
Yeah, there were a lot of misfires, with the humor. It fell short a lot of the time, and some of the times it came off as really corny.
Speaking of the titular character, Godzilla, make no mistake, is a badass in this movie. Granted, at times he needs help, but they do an awesome job of showing him at his highest point. My goodness, can he whoop some butt? They dip into the lore of Godzilla a lot more, so
and
it's
the
a little
action
fleshed out.
Right, and the action scenes were, again, entertaining, and you get what you expect out of a Godzilla film, but again, I was waiting for that element of surprise.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping for some more, again, suspenseful scenes.
Yeah, you get a lot of pluses and minuses in this movie. Should you go to the theater to watch it? I think you should if you like monster fighting movies and buildings falling all over the place.
Right.
Then I mean, it is very pleasing to the eyes, if you're not too picky like us.
Well, I do think you bring up a good point. I think that the movie might lose some of its value on a smaller screen. I think this is a movie that should be seen on the big screen.
So anyway, enough dilly-dallying. I'm going to go ahead and just say this movie, for all its pluses and minuses, for me is a 3.5 reels out of 5.
Okay, well, 3.5 reels, eh?
Yeah.
Well, I am going to disagree with you,
No.
sir, because monster movies, they can feel formulaic, man.
Okay.
They can feel formulaic, and this one did feel very predictable a lot of the times. And while I appreciated the acting in the movie, and I appreciated, some of the special effects were okay, and the action is always fun, I was really hoping and waiting for something more exciting and more surprising in the end. And for those reasons, I have to give Godzilla King of Monsters 3 reels.
3 reels? Wow, that's really low. I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, man. Is it a movie that I would watch again? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know that I would ever watch this movie again.
That's true, huh? I don't see myself buying the Blu-ray
or any of that. So that's what I think.
Okay. All right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed our real take of Godzilla King of Monsters. If you want to see more movie reviews like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit the notifications bell so that you'll know every time we upload a video.
That's right. And don't forget to look us up on social media. We're on Facebook at Real Screeners and Instagram real.screeners.
And if you guys disagree with us or agree with us, either way, let us know in the comments below. We would love to have a conversation with you guys. And if you happen to be in El Paso at the Alamo Draft House, best theater to watch a movie at, come hit us up and we'd love to talk about anything under the sun with you guys.
And don't forget to catch us next time for some more real takes on films.
After the first Godzilla movie in 2014, a lot of people criticized that we did not see enough of, Godzilla.
Godzilla.
So after the first Godzilla in 2014, a lot of people criticized that movie for taking big dumps in their hair. Okay, Okay.
Massive ones.
Let's see.
You drank a whole bottle of Pepto-Bismol, and not even that helped.
Okay, ready? A lot of people criticize the Godzilla movie from 2014 for not having enough of the titular character.